arcade gamers, and welcome back to BiggyD's Arcade. Tonight I'm going to be doing my 20th live stream. I can't believe that I've already been doing this now for 20 episodes. I even had that break in between the time I was moving for like over a month, and I'm at 20. I can't believe it. So I'm really moving along. I'm getting more and more comfortable with the live streaming and you know, all the things that you have to know to do these live streams. And I'm really enjoying it. So anyone that's joined me today, I really appreciate you guys joining and listening in. I got a lot of big news tonight, especially on the iiRcade front, and I'll be starting with that. But first, I want to say hi to everyone in the chat. So let's get into the chat and see who's made it so far. Looks like Carl O is here. Good to see you, man. Glad you've made it. Mickey is in as well. Good to see you, Mickey. And Thor, greetings. Good to see you, Thor. Glad you've made it tonight. I know this gets a little late for some on the East Coast, but it gives me time to prepare everything. Actually, today I had everything prepared around like 3 o'clock, so I had a bunch of time to kill in between, but some days it takes me a while leading up to like the minutes before the live stream before I have everything together. So I like this late time because if I'm running behind or it's taking me longer than usual, I'll have plenty of time to get it all together for you guys. But it looks like Lisa's joined us as well. Good to see you, Lisa. Glad you've made it. And Carl, it's the BiggyD. Yes, BiggyD. And I am using my 2K. I'm using this camera. It does 4K. But I've been able to figure out, I think that I can use at least 2K tonight. So it should be a little better quality than the last few streams, hopefully, as far as the video goes. But let's go ahead and get into it. And what I want to start with is this Siden Light Gun support. You know, it's been a pretty controversial thing the last week since Operation Wolf was released a little over a week ago. You know, in the iiRcade forums and the YouTube and on Reddit and Facebook. I mean, everyone's been kind of really upset. You know, it didn't really hit home until the game came out because a lot of the our iiRcade customers do not own the gold edition. There weren't many golds that were actually produced. Majority of your iiRcade customers, they own the standard or the original. So this here is like a Gen 2 standard edition cabinet. And then there was a Gen 1, which was the original one that had the iiRcade logo up at the top. And majority of your customers own those cabinets. And unfortunately, those cabinets, anything that was not a gold, which is like 95% of your customer base, weren't able to play Operation Wolf. And it was a big disappointment for a lot. You know, I mean, we knew it was coming. They've been upfront with us about it, but it didn't really stick, and really, we didn't really feel it until the game was released. And then everyone's like, oh man, what, you know, I really want to play this game. I can't even buy a gold. And it just, you know, started up a lot of controversy and discussion on this topic. However, iiRcade has been working behind the scenes on something that they did not even tease, and that was light gun support for the standard edition cabinets. And they've been very tight-lipped on this. They have not told anyone. No one even thought of this as being a possibility. They had been telling us it can't happen. It's not possible. Even Glenn has been real tight-lipped, hadn't said anything. But this whole time they've been working on getting USB support for the iiRcade standard so we can play Operation Wolf. So it's been like a huge surprise for everyone. And this was, I guess, released this weekend. We finally got word on this through Glenn's retro show this weekend. And I'm going to get into some of that, but I saw some chats come through and I want to make sure that everyone's participating can be heard. So let's hear what some people have said here. Mickey says, congrats on the ALU. You looked like you were having fun with it. I'm having a really good time with my ALU so far. It is like way better quality than I ever imagined. I was very impressed with the iiRcade when I got it because that was a big step for me, being a 100% Arcade 1-Up owner, moving to the iiRcade. Now I've moved to the AtGames, and I'm even more impressed with the AtGames quality. The screen is crystal clear. The controls are perfect. I mean, they're so much fun. And self-titled Zach. Hey, everyone. Good to see you, Zach. Glad you made it. And Kevgret. Oh, Mickey, he's so fine. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. I'm not going to sing it, but I'll say it. And yeah, here, Mickey, he says here, Glenn's always coming through for the community. He definitely has. So let's get into this. And I've got like a clip here pulled up. I think I may have one more slide before that. Let's see here. And I've got studio mode down now too, where I can actually check my next slide before I go to it. So that's kind of cool. So next slide's just introducing you guys to Glenn's Retro Show, GRS Products. If you don't know who he is, I've actually not been subscribed to his channel this entire time. I've liked Glenn. I've watched Glenn's content. I've watched him on Game Time. But me being more of like newer to the home arcade scene, and him being a longtime vet in this community, it just, for me, I just wasn't subscribed. It wasn't, I watch so many channels as it is. And now I'm feeling like I'm ready to be a subscriber. I'm ready to start watching him full time because he really came through for the community. He really did. And let's get into this video. This is just a quick announcement, like 30, 45 seconds of his video, and we'll watch that.
Oh, I'm not joking. This is a legacy cabinet. This is a USB Siden Light Gun. Let's see if we can get this going on over here. So I'm going to turn up the volume here as well. And let's go down to Operation Wolf. Once again, it functions the same way as it would on the gold unit. There's no latency, none. Let's try out Operation Wolf on the original iiRcade cabinet with a USB Siden Light Gun. Now you can see I'm definitely not in front of the unit. I'm definitely off to the side. But the gun does track just fine. Again, that's the advantages of this camera and the white border. You don't have to worry about recalibrating. Just point and you can shoot. Let's get this game started.
Operation Wolf. Operation initiated.
So there you go. Okay, you guys just saw the Siden USB Light Gun working on the original iiRcade, and GRS is going to bring that out to you soon.
All right, guys, so we watched that video there. What this is this is a game deck by GRS Products that he has been working on for some time now. iiRcade has been mentioning it in their game day live streams, basically kind of letting us know that this has been in development for some time. And no word on light gun support. We were told that there is no USB inputs with this new game deck, and that the light gun support for this standard or original iiRcade was not possible. So to hear this on, I believe it was Saturday, was just, you know, mind-blowing big news for us iiRcade owners out there. And potentially, you know, iiRcade owners that were out there that saw this game released, that wanted to potentially buy an iiRcade but could not get the gold, can now just get the standard, like you can get the Retro Mania through Best Buy and still play Operation Wolf. So this is just huge. It's huge for the iiRcade owners out there because, you know, we can play this game now. It's huge for the people that were potentially going to buy an iiRcade because now it's possible for them to play this game with an iiRcade that's available on the market. So it all kind of fell together and it all makes sense now. Makes sense why they were kind of letting us know that they're not bringing any iiRcade Golds out at the time of the release of the game, because they were planning and they were working on this entire time. And for me, I'm going to be getting this Siden Light Gun pretty soon, probably next week. And then I can use it on my ALU. And then I'm not sure when this game deck's going to be released. No word on that yet. No word on the price. I believe I would probably pay up to like $150 for this game deck. But if it goes up to like $200-300, I probably won't even do it. I'll just figure it out on my ALU. But we'll wait and see what the price is. If it's reasonable, $100-150, I could do it. But I'm not paying, you know, $300 for this when my iiRcade was $400. Let's see what everyone else here has to say. T-Dog's joined us. Good to see you. While only some supported Glenn during the whole 1-Up debacle, Glenn's always supported us. Yeah, he has. He's been behind the scenes doing all this work for everyone without any recognition, without any praise for his work. Just working, you know, to get this done. And it's just incredible that he was able to get through that period without even being able to mention that and still have the motivation to get it done. It wasn't an easy job. This was a very difficult task. And Lisa's Retro Lounge, I only have a bunch of A1-Ups at the moment, but I might have to invest in the Legends Ultimate. So the Legends Ultimate, I would definitely look at getting one. I got mine for $299. My sweet spot for arcades is $300 or less. So I saw it at $350 at Sam's a few months ago, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to just wait it out a little bit longer. I knew that the 4K one's coming soon, so there were going to be some discounts on this one, the Legends Ultimate non-4K, and it worked out for me. I got it for $299. So, and that's kind of my style with these home arcades is I pick and choose what I want. I try to save the most amount of money possible, and that way I have more arcades in my living room or in my game room. I have like double the amount of arcades because I'm not paying full price for them. And Brooklyn Menace has joined us. BiggyD, the next big thing in retro arcade YouTube. I sure hope so, Brooklyn. I heard you say that during your live stream on Friday. I really appreciate that. I am definitely dedicated to making sure that I'm providing good content. So I hope that I reap the rewards of that and grow. And it's been a slow and steady growth on the channel. It's not like a skyrocket straight up kind of thing, but hopefully I can keep this steady progress going. Kevgret, only John D's mob turned on Glenn. So not sure quite what he's talking about there. Won't get into that. Carlo, I got censored by a known arcade content creator for defending Glenn, and I forgave him, but his content is just okay to me. And Andy's Game Room has joined us. I'll say it again, Glenn rules all. And Lisa's talking about the $299 is an absolute bargain. It is. It's an incredible deal. After playing this thing, I really feel like it is worth $600 or $650. So to get it at $300, I mean, it's just like a steal. It's like they gave it to me. Mickey agreed, $300 is sweet spot as well. Yeah, every arcade I have, I've paid less than $300 for, except for my pinball. And guess what's not working? My pinball. T-Dog, I really hope more guns are coming. And Kevgret says, Lisa, I have not seen you around before. I just subbed to your channel. I ran across Lisa's channel about a month ago. She had a video on like a Star Wars cabinet she had just gotten. And I'd been, keeping an eye on her channel ever since then. Great content. So let's look here. And what I want to discuss next is Operation Wolf. We heard the release of this game, or saw it was released a week from Friday. So it's been, what now, 9 days since Operation Wolf has been released. And it's an incredible game. It's one of the best arcade games of all time. And iiRcade was able to get it. And now all the iiRcade owners are about to get a chance to play this. And it's not with a joystick. It's not with a trackball. We're going to be able to play it in the way it was meant to be played, with a light gun or a gun of any sort. So it's just a really good thing for us, our iiRcade owners. It's really good for the home arcade community because healthy competition is good for Arcade1Up. It's good for AtGames because it makes them step up their game now because they have to compete now with iiRcade. But I did notice something, and I kind of wanted to not debate these participants in this live stream or anything like that. But I do want to point out something and just kind of give you guys an idea of where they're at with this, and kind of comment on what I heard on Friday. Last Monday. So this was almost a week ago. This was 3 days after the announcement of Operation Wolf. So it was literally 72 hours we're talking. And I mean, we have major Arcade1Up YouTubers out there that are like jumping on some like pretty controversial subjects 72 hours after a release of a game, one of the best arcade games of all time. So let's listen into this real quick.
My biggest concern was when I discovered yesterday, when I did purchase Operation Wolf for the iiRcade cabinets to play without a light gun just to test it. And I was curious, and I found, once I joined the leaderboard, a really stunning fact. Can I share the fact? Is that something?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah. So leaderboards is a big part of the iiRcade platform, and they have 100 slots for leaderboards. But when I looked at the Operation Wolf, Mackleby was on there at 17th place, along with me and a bunch of other people. But the list stopped at 55 people. So, I think that was the biggest concern for me, that a title that's been talked about a lot as, the big feature for the gold cabinet. We don't know how many total gold cabinets there were sold. I don't think that number has ever been shared. But even out of all the gold cabinets that were sold, about 50 plus people purchased the title, supposedly to play with the gold. I purchased it without having a gold cabinet, but the entire user base, that was the launch amount. And I haven't paid attention to leaderboards anytime they release a new game. Maybe it's in that 50s range for the first couple of days and people are just slowly getting into it. But I thought it would be a much higher number than that. So I think for a title that they would consider one of the bigger titles for the platform, for a company that has to make money off of their software side of things, that was a concerning number just for me. So I think that's the biggest piece that I discovered, more than the words that John.
Okay, guys. So what we heard there, you have Michael B, probably the largest home arcade YouTuber, and then you have Kongs R Us, two really good guys. But they're really sitting here doing a live stream, danger, going out of business in 2023. They are literally leading the entire community into believing potentially iiRcade is going out of business. And not only that, they are also talking about only 55 people on the leaderboards, like the game has not sold. And this is literally within 72 hours of the release of Operation Wolf. I mean, I think they're really jumping the gun way too early. They're not doing iiRcade any service at all by doing these types of things. And I just wanted to bring it up. I'm not trying to start anything with them or anything like that. I just want to bring it up. I feel like we need to be more responsible in the subjects we discuss and how we discuss them, because literally within a week, this kind of blew up in their face. I mean, we've got probably one of the biggest announcements in home arcade this week, and it's all about iiRcade. So it's something I wanted to bring up. He also said, that iiRcade is considering Operation Wolf a big title. It is a big title. It's one of the highest grossing arcade games of all time. So just something I wanted to bring up. Also want to talk about the future of Operation Wolf. Let's see what everybody else here has to say. Gamer Price, that's true. Brooklyn Menace, I'm going to sub to Lisa's Retro Lounge. The more retro content, the better. Yes, definitely. More and more content creators are entering this space. They have really good content. They bring a fresh perspective to our community. So definitely check Lisa's Retro Lounge out. Anyone else that's new, give them a shot. Gamer Price. I can't see how Fast and the Furious is going to sell at all. I do have some Fast and the Furious discussion later in this live stream that I wanted to discuss. Kevgret, Mickey, and yet no one wants to talk about this. They rather talk about the 53 copies of Operation Wolf being sold. And Carlo, I like how everyone on the screen, I have told B before, he is biased against AtGames based on what I've seen and heard, and I still love him, just saying. Yeah, I love B Kongs. I mean, he's great. He does some really cool stuff. I mean, like as far as his mods and all that. I just felt like he jumped the gun way too early on that. And it was on a live stream that was discussing iiRcade going out of business. I just saw it as a little bit irresponsible. And I wanted to point that out because with my channel, I'm not going to just do what's politically correct all the time. I'm sometimes going to voice my opinions, and they may not always be what everyone wants to hear. But I'm definitely not trying to do it in any disrespectful way or anything like that. I'm just trying to bring up the subject is all. And Mitchell B's joined us. Hey, Carlo, good to see you. And Gamer Price 40. It's so ironic. Can't believe they'd make statements like that, but refuse to ever talk about the scandals Arcade 1UP is in. And Brooklyn Menace. They are both great guys. I've met them both, and I understand it's just content. It stirs up controversy and discussion. So yeah, there's something to be said about that, Brooklyn. That we are in like an entertainment type business. And maybe that's not exactly how they felt at that moment, but maybe it creates the views and it creates the what makes those live streams more where more people want to watch. I'm not sure exactly what their motive was behind all that, but definitely wanted to point out that it was jumping the gun, and it was just so ironic that within less than 5 days they released this game for all the iiRcades through this GRS retro products that we can get. And Lisa's saying she subbed to Brooklyn, gonna watch your Zombieland VR later. Yeah, he's got some really good VR content, Lisa, if you want to check that out. So future of Operation Wolf. So now we're talking, I think I overheard there's like 10,000 iiRcade customers. I believe probably most every iiRcade customer is going to end up getting this game. They're probably going to end up getting these Siden Light Guns. And Glenn, I heard Kevgrat mention it as well. Glenn's got to be prepared because he's going to be getting hundreds, possibly thousands of orders for these control decks. Or these, are they going to have enough of them? Are they going to be readily available for everyone that wants to get one? But I'll tell you, as soon as they are on pre-order, and if it's within a price that's reasonable, I'll be pre-ordering. And I'm not typically a person that pre-orders anything. But this is something I'm extremely excited about, is playing this game. I did notice on my ALU, I have Operation Wolf, and I can play it with the trackball, and I was playing that last night, and got to experience it a little bit, but it's not the same as having a gun and playing it in the way it was meant to be played. So next subject I want to get into is going to be AtGames. You guys don't typically hear me discuss AtGames because I haven't owned one, but I on Friday received my first AtGames product, the AtGames Legends Ultimate. Got it, put it together on Saturday, played it Saturday night, been playing it today, and I'm really impressed, like I said earlier in the live stream, how impressed I am with this. Mitchell B says motive was views. I definitely think that could be the case. May not be how they felt at that time, but I think even Michael B came out later and kind of clarified that going out of business stuff was just like, for entertainment. It wasn't like they really felt that way. And Mitchell B definitely getting a Siden. And Mickey, I would get an iiRcade, but I'm sure they'll come out with a new cab soon. It's been a while. And Carlo, Papa Brad stands up to all the trolls. I stand with Brad, nicest guy on YouTube. Yeah, Papa Brad is a great channel. I really enjoy his channel a lot. Sometimes I feel like he puts out a lot of like commercials and stuff. I'm not a big fan of that, but everything in between that's like content that he makes, I'm very impressed with. And Mitchell's talking about how he loves his ALU and his ALP. And Carlos saying everyone wants the clicks. And Lisa used to like those heavy duty vibrating guns on the OP Wolf arcade machine. Yeah, that original gun with Operation Wolf was just like something I'll never forget. And it's been a long time since I've played Operation Wolf in an arcade because none of the ones around me have one. But I'll never forget those guns and how well it played. So this is my AtGames Legends Ultimate in the box when I had received it. It was actually pretty rough shape for box standards, I would say. Like it had some holes in it, some rips, and it looked like it had been dropped maybe 2 or 3 times. But once I started pulling everything out, everything looked like it was in really good shape. They packaged these AtGames Ultimates really very well. Like with all the damage I was seeing on the box, I didn't really see anything at all as far as damage on the actual unit because of all the foam and everything that they put in there to protect it. And I'm sure it was thrown around quite a bit by FedEx, and it got to me fast. I ordered it on eBay. I think it was on a Wednesday or a Tuesday, one of those 2 days, and it arrived at my house on Friday. So I had it within like 2 or 3 days. But the only damage I had on it was this. It was like in the upper left-hand corner of the marquee. Now, some people have asked me, were you just screwing the marquee on too tight? And that's what caused this. And that's not what happened. These, the top part of the AtGames Legends Ultimate is already assembled. So it's kind of like a bar top, like the iiRcade comes, where it's already assembled. So this was either through shipping or maybe it happened at the factory. I'm not quite sure, but this is the only damage I could find on the entire unit. I've already opened a ticket with AtGames on Saturday. Hopefully I'll hear back from them on Monday. I did notice when I was submitting my ticket that eBay was not on the list of retailers to choose from, but I knew this was a Sam's Edition Legends, so I put Sam's on there because that was one of the options. And I did send them the receipts showing I got it through eBay. So I hope that doesn't end up being a problem with them. Hope not. I mean, I just bought it. So hopefully they take care of this. Also, I saw on the drop down that a cracked marquee was one of the options. So this might be a pretty common problem or issue that they've been having either through shipment or at the factory. Or maybe it was the heat, because we get, over 100 degrees already here in Arizona. It was sitting in the sun. So I'm not quite sure what caused it, but hopefully they'll take care of it. Brooklyn's talking about how they're very easy to assemble. It probably took me about an hour to assemble it. Carl O, who's in the chat, told me it'd take about 30 minutes. I think he has like 3 of these. So he was pretty proficient, and he had the experience to put these together in 30 minutes. It took me about an hour, but very easy to assemble, I would say, and very good quality too. They use these bolts, and I forgot what they're called, the type of bolt, but it's the same one they use on the iiRcade, and it does make it a little easier to assemble, and it does feel a little bit more solid. Mitchell B, FedEx loves ALUs. Mine came the same way, and I was pretty shocked by how heavy the box is. The box is heavy. Brooklyn Menace, I have an extra one if you want it. Okay, so if I run into an issue, Brooklyn, with trying to get one, I know you've gotten the bit LCD, so maybe you don't need it anymore. I may be asking you for that, or I'll pay you for it if you want. Carlo, I have 3 of these I can mail you if you want one. So it looks like Carl's got plenty of them too. I know with everyone upgrading their marquees with the bit LCD, or maybe that one that came out before it. I think it was called I can't remember the name of that one. But there was another one that was before the bit LCD. People have been changing these marquees out for a long time. And Brooklyn's saying the one he has is brand new. Perfect. So that'll be kind of like a fallback. If they give me a problem, I'll just come to you or Carl. Mitchell, I have an extra one also. It looks like everyone's got extras of these. Hopefully they just take care of it and be done with it. That'd be the best situation. But it's good to know everyone's got one in case I need one. Lisa, ouch, might have happened in shipping, that if it had been knocked around or knocked about. Yeah, the box definitely showed like it had been dropped or, hadn't been handled the best. And Brooklyn's saying they tightened the screw too much. That's what it looked like to me as well. Oh, and here, bit LED. So there's 2. There's the bit LCD, which is the new one, and it's kind of like another screen that changes the artwork. The Bit LED was the one before that. And I've heard some people out there call it like a bright light, if you guys remember those. But those were cool. It was definitely better than the standard marquee. But I'm happy that they've advanced to the Bit LCD because it's way better. And Lisa's saying it spares city in here. In Brooklyn, I have one that was never used and still has protective seal on it. So that's really good. Definitely get that because that is the only thing wrong with it. Everything else was in perfect condition except for that. And this is me playing the AtGames Legends Ultimate. I had put it together and I'd made this short, and it happened that this arcade has my favorite arcade game on it, Bubble Bobble. And I've been playing Bubble Bobble on this Marvel Superheroes modded cabinet. I have it on there. But I'll tell you on the AtGames, and I'm pretty impressed with the BOE monitor, the 17-inch that Arcade 1-Up has. But I'm even more impressed with the screen quality of these Legends Ultimates. There were a couple of concerns for me. One, the screen being so low, so much lower than the marquee, I would have to slouch over or I'd have to sit down, and even then it wouldn't be comfortable to view. But actually, sitting down in this short, you see me here, it was fine on the stool. Had no issues at all. It was pretty comfortable. Now, keep in mind, in this short, I do have 3-inch furniture risers under it right now. So this is actually 3 inches higher than stock. And I'm 6'4", so I'm really tall. So what I did is I purchased the 5-inch Buy Stuff Arcades riser. It was $65, free shipping, no tax. And that's going to lift it up another 5 inches, and it's molded and it looks exactly like the AtGames Legends. So it'll look like a continuous. It won't even look like I have a riser on it. And hopefully I'll get that next week. That'll give me 8 inches of height. And then hopefully I can stand up and play these games at that point, because that's where I have the most enjoyment, is when I'm standing and I'm playing the arcade. Sometimes I'll sit on the stool, but that's normally after my feet are getting tired and I've been playing for a long time. Normally I'll stand. And a lot of my arcade gaming is for like 5 or 10 minutes or maybe 15 minutes at a time. Just real quick, I'll hop on and play. And I want to be able to stand for those times that I do that, where I do those short, just jump on and play real quick. Lisa's saying her favorite game is Bubble Bobble as well. That's cool to hear. I actually saw that the Rexer Show commented and said this is his least favorite game, and he can't stand the music and he can't understand how to play it. I replied to him and I told him this game, for whatever reason, came natural to me. I've been playing it since the NES, back since I was like a little kid. And I played it, back then, but then I didn't play it for like 30 years. And now I'm playing it again on these home arcades, and it's just an amazing game. The arcade ROM is so much better than the NES game too. So it's sounds better, looks better, plays better. And I'm so happy it's on the ALU, because it looks and plays better than my modded Arcade 1-Up cabinet. And then KevGrad's saying how the ALU monitor does destroy the A1-Up monitor. I wouldn't go as far as saying destroys it. It is better. It is a significant upgrade. It's clear, it's bigger. The colors seem to come through. And that's hard to do, because Arcade 1-Up BOE 17-inch monitors look incredible, I thought. So to know that there's something even better out there, it took me getting one and seeing it in person to know that. And Mitchell B said, check out Buy Stuff Arcade for the riser for it. Made a world of difference. Yeah, I've already ordered it. I ordered that on Saturday. When I put it together and I saw it, I immediately got online and ordered that riser. And Carlo says, I really love the ALU mini riser. Got mine this week. It raised it 6 inches. Yeah, so I'll be going with the furniture riser plus the Buy Stuff. I'll be at 8 inches. Hopefully that'll be enough. And Gamer Price, tell us the truth, Biggie. Are you trying out the Legends Ultimate, or are you ditching the Arcade 1-Up? So, after trying it. So I'm not ditching Arcade 1-Up. I'm definitely going to still be interested in future releases. I'm definitely going to be more picky about which ones I buy. And it's going to take me a lot more to, get over that hump to buy an Arcade 1-Up now. because I'm so impressed with the AtGames and I'm so impressed with the iiRcade. I will still buy Arcade 1-Up, but it's going to be less often, and it'll take more. You know, it'll take more to impress me to buy one now. Goofy brought up a good point. No moderators in the chat. I need to get on that and get some new moderators. I had a few, PD7, Mike Worley, and I think I had P-Dubs, but P-Dubs doesn't normally join these streams. He may be watching though. But I do need to get some new moderators. Thanks, Goofy, for bringing that up. And I will do that tonight, actually. I'll set up some new moderators. I know like PD7 and Mike Worley are on the East Coast, so it's already getting pretty late for them. And I know they go to bed pretty early. So I do need to get some new moderators. Carlo, Mitchell B, I have 2 AtGames Legends Ultimates on risers. My girlfriend doesn't want me to get the riser on the 3rd. She's 5 foot and I'm 6'5". So that's good. You have the shorter one for her and you got your bigger one for you. And you even have the mini as well. And Kevgret, compare the 2 blacks on each monitor. You'll see the difference. And Mitchell's looking forward to the 4K cabs coming soon. And I'm glad you brought that up, Mitchell. I've got a live stream coming up soon. I don't know yet when I'm going to do it, but I have a live stream set up. I've got all the slides. I've got the thumbnail. I've got everything prepared for a 4K live stream. And I want to get and dig deep into that discussion because I heard a little bit about it when it was first announced. And then we haven't heard anything about 4K since. So I want to get that discussion back going because we're getting closer and closer. And I'll be in Cleveland in September, and I think they're going to unveil that at that convention or maybe around that time. And Lisa's Retro Lounge, only 2 Arcade 1-Ups I'm looking for now is the Partycade Galaga and if they re-release Outrun. I would kind of be interested in a re-release of Outrun if they did something different with it. So next I wanted to discuss Coinops X. So I am a complete noob when it comes to Coinops X. I've done the Raspberry Pi build. I was able to get through that using ETA Prime's video. It was a pretty solid video, made it very easy to understand. I'd watched P-Dub's live stream this weekend on his Coinops, but that was over a year old. He had a follow-up video that was about 9 months old. So I had some questions for him on like the partitions for the thumb drive. And what else did I have a question on? Also, if I have the newest version, am I going to run into issues with being able to save scores and the game's not all running correctly? Because I heard like if you update your AtGames Legends, it's not going to run Coinops as well. Sounds like I'm good on that. And it sounds like on the partition, I only have to do 1 partition. I can skip that. The 2 partition step because Coinops is now on the AtGames Legends Ultimate. You don't have to put it on the thumb drive anymore. So I'm learning as I go. I'm trying to do research and learn this whole process so I do it all right, make sure all the games run the best that I can. And that brought up some good points on that too when I started doing some research is what build do I go with? There's all kinds of builds out there. There's 65 gigabyte builds. There's some that are even larger. And then there's one called like the Ultimate or the Awesome Sauce build that Nix has been recommending. And I think that's like a terabyte. It's huge. So I'm going to start out with not doing that. I'm going to do what was in the, if you guys go to Wagner's Tech Talk, he's got the 63 gigabyte build on that website. That's also what P-Dubs recommends in his video. And I think I downloaded that build last night. So I've already got it downloaded. I didn't have a big enough thumb drive. So I went and purchased this one at Best Buy. It was $21. It's a 256 gigabyte, 3.2. And the 3.2 is a faster speed than the 3.0. So maybe the games will run a little bit better, hopefully with that higher speed. And then also with the 256, it'll be more than enough room to get the 63 gigabyte build that I downloaded on there. But I'm still learning. There's, all this is subject to change as I learn more. I may end up having to get a terabyte hard drive. It looks like the thumb drives only go up to 500 gigabytes right now. I could not find a 1 terabyte thumb drive. And if you go with the portable hard drive, you're going to have it kind of hanging off the side. I'm not really wanting to do that. So But it's all subject to change as I learn more about this. Kevgret, too big a build and you will get lost in the games. Yeah, and that's another thing. When you get up to those like 1 terabytes, you're going to have so many games. You're never going to be able to play them all. And it's going to make it difficult, I feel, to get to the ones you want to play. I'm like, when I had built my Raspberry Pi, I'd only put 60 games on it. I could have put as many games as I wanted, but I only put the 60 games that I knew that I wanted on there. That way I could easily get to them and it wouldn't be too cumbersome trying to get to what I needed to get to. Carlo, the base Coinops, that has the arcade ROMs is where to start. Oh, the base Coinops X. I'm going to have to learn more about all this. I did see the app on my AtGames Legends Ultimate for the Coinops X, and I wasn't aware that there's games included on that. I thought I had to download those. Ian Mitchell, amen, Kev Greg. Catch myself scrolling and not picking anything. Yeah, you're just going through that wheel for, an hour trying to find what you want. So we'll have to see. I'm going to start small, work my way up to those bigger ones. I think this one that was recommended in P-Dub's video about a year ago, and the one that Wagner's Tech Talks website is recommending, I think I got the right one. So the next subject I wanted to cover with you guys is Fast and the Furious. We've been hearing a ton about Fast and the Furious, but we got some new information this week. I'd watched UAG's live stream where they had discussed it, and then I had watched Game Time on Thursday. They had done like a 2-hour live stream on the Fast and the Furious, and we learned some pretty unsettling or concerning news on Fast and the Furious. And this came from Travis MCP, which is like the one contact we have in the community that gets information from these from Arcade 1-Up and is privy to information that we don't know. And I just saw my camera messed up a little bit there. I don't know if you guys saw it. But here was the graphic, and let's kind of read through this real quick. Fast facts. So up to 4 machine local link multiplayer. We already knew about that. Wi-Fi leaderboards. That was something we knew about. 2 games included, the Fast and the Furious and the Fast and the Furious Drift. Nothing new there. Graphics upscaled to 960, 30 frames per second. Nothing new there. Customize and save your cars. Nothing new there. This, however, was new. We're only getting 8 licensed cars. So we're getting a Chevy Camaro, a Ford GT, a Ford Mustang GT, a Nissan 350Z, a Skyline GTR R34, a Pontiac Solstice. Yeah, I said it. Pontiac Solstice GXP, and a Saleen S7 Twin Turbo. So that's it, guys. 8 cars. And if you guys have played Fast and the Furious, there's a lot more cars than that. There's definitely some major ones missing. We're missing the Mitsubishi Eclipse, the one that's on the side of the cabinet. I can't explain that. And then we're also missing Vin Diesel's Charger. So Vin Diesel's Chargers in that Mitsubishi Eclipse are what you think of when you think of Fast and the Furious. That is what I picture in my head when I think of this franchise. And the fact that we're not getting both of those cars is just like mind-blowing to me. I can't understand it. I can't explain it. I can't explain how we can get the car on the side of the cabinet, but we can't get it in the game. I know that Raw Thrills is the one who ported this game for Arcade 1-Up, but we gotta get some explanation on this. Hopefully Travis is in communication with them to write up a response to this, so we can get a better understanding behind the scenes of why this is happening. But, for people that pre-ordered this cabinet already and they don't know this, I wanted to get this information out there to you guys in case you were big fans of that Charger, you were big fans of that Eclipse, that it's not going to be included in the game. And that's a big disappointment, I feel. Also, some other news that I had heard was that we get 2 games on this cabinet, Fast and the Furious and the Fast and the Furious Drift, but we were only seeing Fast and the Furious Drift as far as gameplay. We weren't getting any gameplay for the first game, the marquee title, what we see on the side of the cabinet. Well, it all came to a head on Thursday when Travis MCP responded to this, basically letting us know we're not getting 2 games. We're really getting 1 game. We're getting Fast and the Furious Drift. And they just took some of the cars out of Fast and the Furious and put it into Drift, basically making it like a new game, like just like they did with Blitz. You know, they're reworking this game entirely. And, you know, and it's just really 1 game. Bottom line, it's 1 game with some of the cars and some of the things we noticed in the first game included in the Drift game. So kind of confusing to explain it, kind of confusing to understand it because we haven't heard anything from Arcade 1UP on this yet. But the word is from Travis and Arcade 1UP that we're getting really 1 game. Which is a huge disappointment, and I don't know how that works. I don't know how you have Fast and the Furious on there and not include the game. I don't know how that works or how they're able to do that, but they have done it, and hopefully we'll hear more soon on why this is. It, you know, if I was a pre-order customer, I would definitely be reconsidering my pre-order right now based on this information. Now that's my personal opinion. I was never in the market to pre-order right now anyways, so maybe I'm not the one to comment on that. Maybe some others in the chat here can make a comment on it though that have pre-ordered. They can let us know, are you going to continue with your pre-order or are you going to reconsider that? Mickey, he said, how do you not own or how do you not license the car that advertised on the cabinet? That's a great point. How do you do that? How does that work? I want to know. Mitchell, no Mopar, no buy. And Mopar is the Dodge parts. So it's the Charger, that the famous iconic Charger from the movie that Vin Diesel drives, is not in the game. Kev Gret, this is just a bad console port at this point. It's sounding that way. I'm going to give it time. You know, I'm not going to make a decision on how I feel about this cabinet until I see it. I'm just kind of giving you guys some information on what I've seen and some concerns I have about it. And, you know, just getting that information out there. But I always want to wait until we see the final product or we get like a for sure word from Arcade 1UP directly. Kev Gret, don't blame Raw Thrills. They were probably given the PCB spec and had to hit that. So yeah, they have to work within the limits of that PCB, and we're still on this same PCB they've been using for the last couple of years. So it's, you know, not a very powerful PCB. It was originally created to play like Pac-Man and some of these, you know, easy to run games from the 80s and early 90s. We're now getting into the early 2000s. So they really got to step up that hardware. Otherwise, this is what the final product will be. It'll be a limited experience. It won't be the same. Gamer Price said, maybe it'll be an MVC2 situations and 6 months after the release, they'll do an update and add the cards that are missing. That is always possible. I know that Travis is trying to do a 1UP, what do they call that again? The Arcade 1 update. He's trying to set one of those up. So hopefully we'll get more word soon. But we're pretty close to the release now. This game is going to release, I think, officially. Like shipments are going to officially start going out tomorrow. No, let's see. What's today is 4:30. So yeah, they're going to start going out probably on Monday, and people are going to start receiving their cabinets as early as Wednesday. So if they're going to do this one update, they need to do it on Monday or Tuesday before people receive their units. If we're going to get any, you know, information before we start seeing reviews. Mitchell's saying it's very disappointing. And then also review should start on the 5th of here in 5 days, 6 days. But I heard that She-Line Gaming's getting her review unit before that, hopefully. So maybe we'll get her review before Thursday or Friday. Mickey, what about this is from the Fast and the Furious movies or original arcade? Yeah, it's a drift. So it's a drift game. That's all we're getting. So it's going to be more like the Tokyo Drift movie than the first movie. And Carlos says, I feel bad for PD7. I hope it's good for him. Yeah, he pre-ordered it. I'm sure he'll get a review out there and he'll be happy with it. Either way. Mickey, I don't understand who other content creators would pre-order any arcade one up. Just wait and see what the issues are and make an educated buying decision, or wait till the movie releases. Yeah, the movie will come out about a week after people start getting these cabinets. And Gamer Price is saying, agreed, Mickey. And Kevgrat, this update should have been given when they did the unveiling. That would have been nice to get this information, you know, in a professional way through an official Arcade 1-Up live stream or pre-recorded video, rather than hearing it through Travis on that Game Time live stream, because they're not getting a huge audience as compared to an official Arcade 1-Up live stream or video. So it's not, that information's not getting to the people that really need to get that, which are the people that pre-ordered it already. All right, so next I want to talk about my pinball machine. I got one other comment here I wanted to read off by Gamer Price, especially the Arcade 1-Up track history. It's absolutely insane to pre-order from them. It's just a gamble at this point. I was never a pre-order person. There have been some times where I'd considered it, like with Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I even considered it with this Fast and the Furious before I heard more information. But it would take a lot for me to pre-order something. And there's always that... there's always those comments out there in the community where people are saying never pre-order. There's no reason to pre-order these. They're not going to sell out. There'll be plenty of inventory at Best Buy. So no reason to go out and pre-order these things, guys, unless you just absolutely have to have it on day one. And a lot of the people that have to have these on day one are like your content creators that want to make reviews. It's best, in my opinion, to wait to let them make those mistakes, let them purchase, let them get those reviews in and watch those and listen, and then make your decisions. I think that's the best way to go about it. But that's just my personal opinion. And I apologize about, I don't know if you guys could hear a phone ringing in the background. I am on call this weekend, but I have someone covering for me for this live stream. So I don't have to worry about answering that phone, but I had forgotten to mute it. So I apologize for that, guys. Lisa's Retro Lounge. Only one I've ever pre-ordered was Dragon's Lair. So that's a good one to, I would say, to pre-order. Everyone was pretty happy with Dragon's Lair. There was, I guess, some concern that it could sell out with that one. It was kind of like a limited release. It was a direct to consumer I think when it first released. Did you pre-order it through Arcade 1-Up? And Carl's saying only pre-order through AtGames. Yeah, and 4K, when that comes out, that may be worthy of a pre-order, because they are definitely going to have limited. And the way AtGames releases their products, they do it through waves starting out. So you pretty much have to pre-order to get one starting out. But I did want to give you guys an update here on my my Arcade 1-Up Attack from Mars. It is still down. I've been working with the support team at Arcade 1-Up back and forth. They are wanting to charge me for the PCB. I'd watched a video this week on a Star Wars pinball where a gentleman had made a video, and he had said that they charged him $80, and then they made him send the old PCB back so they could refurbish it. So I'm trying to avoid that. I just bought this Attack from Mars 7 months ago. It came with a 90-day warranty. I was unable to get the additional 90 days because it was not listed on the app. So I wasn't able to take advantage of that. But if I was, I would only be about 30 days out of warranty. And I'd also noticed that the PCB has an exhaust vent in which they had placed a piece of tape over at the factory, allowing no airflow to the PCB. So this was 100% the fault of Arcade 1-Up. And I want them to take ownership. So I'm going to continue to press them to send me a free PCB. And hopefully I get there. But I'm willing to wait. I'm not in a huge rush to get this thing fixed. I can live without it for a while. I just want to be done right, and I want this to be fixed, and I want to try to avoid having to pay for it at all costs. If I end up having to pay for the part, I may, I would have to do that at that point. If, a month or two from now I'm still dealing with this crap, I'll probably pay for the $80 PCB, but then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to sell it because I'm not going to get into this endless, cycle of having to continue to pay them to replace something that's going to go out. I did find some mods though I can do to it to allow that PCB better airflow. So there are ways around it, but we have to do that on our own. This is not stuff that Arcade 1Up has put out there to help people. These are just people figuring things out on their own and modding their pinballs so they work. Brooklyn, I bought everything at full price except for Ridge Racer. Yeah, I've not paid full price for anything in my home arcade. And Carlo, I saw his video, $80. It's not unreasonable for an out of warranty PCB. Their cooling solution or lack of it is a joke. Definitely was a problem for me seeing it that way, seeing that tape was over the exhaust vent. You know, I work in IT, so I work on computers all the time, and in my brain, I would never let that leave the factory, and I just don't know how that's happening. P-Dubs has joined us. Good to see you, P-Dubs. Who would cover a vent with a sticker? That's exactly what I'm asking. I'm like, who would do that? How would that, is there any quality control before these leave the factory? And there must not be. And Lisa was tempted to pre-order Star Wars MK2, but I'm glad I waited. And I got it for $480. Was tempted to pre-order Star Wars MK2, but I'm glad I waited. Got it for $480. And I saw you had the Star Wars pinball, Lisa. I would talk with Steven on Game Time. He has got a mod for his pinballs that he's done that you should probably look into before you run into any issues. And Carl, he said here, get the 4K ALP. It will make you forget about the Arcade 1Up pin. And that may be true. The one thing that drew me to this Attack from Mars, though, is it is a real pinball table. It did have the authentic looking artwork on the sides and on the back glass. And that's what drew me to it. And I really do like playing Attack from Mars. When I'm sitting down and I'm playing that game, it does, for periods of time, feel like a real arcade machine. I know that the AtGames is far superior, but the one thing Arcade 1Up has on AtGames is the artwork, is that nostalgic feeling you're getting when you play Attack from Mars. They don't get that unless you want to, upgrade the skins on the side of the cabinet, upgrade the back glass and all that. But to have it come from the factory ready to go and look this way was a definite plus. I'd like to get it back, and I'd like to mod it, and I'd like to make sure it continues to work far into the future because it was something I play a lot, and I really enjoyed it. You guys may have seen some of my videos. I did multiple videos on some of the other tables out there, which was basically free press for Arcade 1Up. So you would think they would try and at least, take care of this, and I hope that they do. Lisa said, thanks, Biggie. Yeah, I've been looking around at pinball mods and watched B's video on adding more tables. Yeah, so you could do that, adding more tables, but I'd definitely make sure your airflow issues are taken care of before you start modding it. Make sure that PCB isn't going to overheat, because from the factory it will. It's a known issue. So the last thing I'm going to discuss, we're over an hour now. We're at an hour and 6 minutes. These live streams just keep getting longer and longer each week. I'm getting more and more comfortable on these live streams. So the discussion and more people are participating. But I try to keep it right at an hour. But Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is coming out on May 12th. So we are only 12 days away. And I'm telling you, I'm going to be a hermit for like the first week this game comes out. I'm not going to leave my apartment. I'm going to be playing Zelda probably nonstop as much as I can when this game comes out. It's one of my favorite games. And it is one of those games that just draws me in and sucks me in. And I can't let it go until I start making some progress and I start, getting all the different weapons and the swords and the shields and the armor and, doing all the side quests and learning who the characters are and these stories. These stories are amazing in Zelda games. And I'm so pumped for Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So let's look at this quick video here. right, guys, so that's it. And I'm not going to get that OLED. I don't have an OLED. I've just got the original red and blue Joy-Con. It's the one with the higher battery life, and which was like the Gen 2 version of that one. And then I've got a, what is that small one called? The Lite? The Switch Lite? I haven't played with that one in so long. I always play with the one with the bigger screen. But I'm not going to get the OLED. I like playing these on the TV anyways. The Zelda game, at least. I want to see it on the big screen. I want to hear it on my sound system and all that. So I'm probably just going to get the game. It's a $70 game, which is very pricey for a Switch game. I think they were only $60 before this. So they're charging like an extra $10 for Zelda, which probably makes sense. This game's been in development for several years. It's well worth the money. They deserve it. But I'm not going to pre-order. Of course, there's going to be plenty available, but I'm going to wait till the 12th. I will buy it on the 12th. I don't want to get a digital copy. I'll probably run up to Best Buy, or I'll run up to Walmart and get the case, and hopefully it's got a booklet with it. And but I will definitely be playing it. I see my camera keeps messing up too. Very close to 1,000, guys. When I get to 1,000, I'm going to buy a new camera. I'm going to get what's called a Canon M200. I found some refurbished ones for $350, but it'll be like extremely good quality. So I'm looking forward to getting that. And I'm going to just work through these issues on this camera I have until then. But yeah, I'll run to like Target or Walmart or Best Buy, and I'll pick it up on day one and start playing it. And I'm hoping I can get a little deal. Maybe I can get $10 off or $5 off. Or sometimes like Best Buy will throw in like a free gift or something if you're like the first 100 customers. So maybe I'll get like something free with it, like a free keychain or something. See what everyone has to say here. 100-hour games. Yeah, so Zelda is one of those games you're going to sink a lot of time into. I know that with Zelda Breath of the Wild, you could beat it pretty quick if you went straight to the boss. But I did all the side quests and I did everything. Took me about a year to beat it because I was doing everything in that game. And I wasn't playing it nonstop. I just played it nonstop for like the first week or two. And then I would play it periodically. But it was so much fun when I beat it. I'll never forget the day I beat Breath of the Wild and how incredible that game was. And this is just a continuation of that game. Brooklyn said, yes, Kev, a 100-hour game that my wife will be bugging me for 99 hours of it, so I'm going to pass. You've got enough games as it is, Brooklyn. I don't buy a lot of games. I buy very few, actually, in comparison to a lot of y'all out there. But this is the one where day one, I'm going to be buying this. Mickey, note to self, when selling BiggyD anything, make it 300-ish. He will buy it. And if the OLED is $299. Brooklyn, always grab roll and roasters when I go back. And Jason M's joined us. Good to see you, Jason M. Glad you've made it. And Carl O, hurry up and finish Spider-Man. I'm pretty close, Carl, to finishing it. I'm like 35-40% done with Miles Morales. I'll probably continue it tonight after the stream. And I noticed on Amazing Spider-Man, the remastered version, it ended at like 50%. I thought I had to go to 100 to beat it. I beat it at like 50%. So I think I'm very close to beating Miles Morales. I think I'm towards the end of it. May beat it tonight. Who knows? I don't know when the end is. And Mickey says, I'm one of the idiots that thought Nintendo is bound to come out with a new Switch console too, holding off on buying a new Switch. Yeah, they're probably around the corner on a new Switch. I know when the Wii U came out, Breath of the Wild was on the Wii U. That's how I played it. But it was also on the Switch. It was a launch game for the Switch. So this may be an indication that a new Switch is very close. We'll find out. But my last slide here is just about Cleveland, guys. So I was originally going to be staying with the Arcade Anonymous guys, but Dan and I just kind of didn't see eye to eye on some things, and we ended up ending that, I guess what you call relationship as far as YouTube, working together at least. I still watch some of his content, have no problem with him at all, but it's just we didn't see eye to eye on some things. And it kind of ended that, with really soon. Like I was only on 2 streams with him and it ended after that. So it was very quick. But I was planning on staying with them while I was out in Cleveland. I'd already bought my plane tickets. And but I'd gone to the Cleveland Gaming Convention website, and they have like 2 official hotels for this convention, and the rooms are only $95 a night, which is incredible. And this is like a hotel, big hotel room with like breakfast, I think, and they even have a shuttle to the convention and all this, so you don't even have to get a car or an Uber. And I went in and I started. You guys know me. I'm always trying to save money on everything. $95 wasn't good enough for me. So I started shopping on all these hotel websites. I'd found that same hotel for $79 a night. So after taxes and everything for 3 nights, it was less than $300. And so that's where I'll be staying, is at that official hotel room, if you guys see that on the website. And I'll be on that shuttle going back and forth each day. But I hope you guys are joining us in Cleveland. It's going to be a really good time. It's going to be good to meet everyone. And play these arcades together, see what AtGames is going to be working on, see what iiRcade's been working on, because they're going to probably unveil their biggest stuff at this convention, I would imagine. It's just going to be like an incredible weekend, and I cannot wait. And I'm going to continue leading up to it to let you guys know if there's any developments or anything that changes as far as my, going, which my news this time was I got a hotel room. I'm really excited about that. So pretty much ready to go now for Cleveland. It's just the time between now and September, which is kind of still a ways away, but that time will go by fast. But really appreciate you guys joining me tonight. It's been a lot of fun. 20th episode of Chillin' Chat. I'm going to be continuing with this time slot, 7:15, because I know K-Fox normally starts around 6. He ends around 7:15, 7:30. That'll be on when I'm coming on. I think B-Kong streams around this time too, so there'll be multiple streams going, but it's a Sunday. We're all off. This is when I want to stream, so that's when I'll be doing it. I really appreciate you guys joining. It makes it a lot more enjoyable and a lot more fun to have you guys in here with me to discuss these topics. But I hope everyone has a really good start to their week next week. Hopefully I'll get a midweek video out like I did last week on Time Crisis. I'm always trying to think of new ideas and new content, something that's different from what other content creators are doing. And something I like to do is speculate and do speculative videos and think of what ifs and what could be. And people really enjoy that stuff. I get a lot of comments on it, a lot of views, and really happy with that. So you guys have a good week next week. I'll see everybody in the next video. Bye-bye.